Uh, Good evening, class. Today I wanted to run through a problem of multiplying or expanding a couple of polynomials. And I really wanted to give you an example that was a little more difficult than some of the ones that you may have seen. And this one, in this particular question, we have 4x squared minus 5x minus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 8. And then we have to that minus 3, or negative 3, times 4x plus 2 squared. So in this particular question, we have a lot going on. So I'm going to walk through the process on how to solve a really big one. So what I'm going to do with this question is I'm actually going to treat this in two parts. I'm going to first solve this trinomial by binomial multiplication over here. And then I'm going to solve the product of this binomial squared times negative 3. And then finally, I'm going to combine the like terms and give myself a final solution at the bottom. I'm also going to tackle this using two completely different methods. I'm going to do the first one using what I term the window method, or some people call the grid method. And for the second one, I'm just going to use basic distributive property. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is recognize that this first polynomial has 3 terms, and this second one has 2 terms. Because I'm using the grid or the window method, that means I'm going to set up a window that is 3 by 2. So in this one, I have 3 windows across, 2 windows down. I then dissect the polynomial by taking each one of the individual terms and writing it above a specific window. So 4x squared goes above here, negative 5x, negative 3. I then take my second polynomial and I put it down the side, 2x and minus 8. So everything's lined up. I am now going to go through the process of multiplying everything on the outside of each individual window to give me an interior term. So I go through of 2x times 4x squared, I get 8x cubed, 2x times negative 5x, I get negative 10x squared. Remembering that when you're multiplying x, the two bases, you keep the base and add the exponent. Because it's 1 and 1, it becomes 2. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. I then go across my bottom row, starting with negative 8 times 4x squared, negative 32x squared, plus 40x, and positive 24. I then collect my like terms. These 2x squareds are going to get summed together, and the 2x's will get added together as well. So I end up with 8x cubed minus 42x squared plus 34x plus 24. I then move to my second half of this question, and what I want to do with this one, I'm going to do this. I could use this window method as well, but I'm just going to use distributive property because some people prefer one method, other people prefer the other, and I want to give you an example of both. So I'm going to first expand 4x plus 2 by writing it down as 4x plus 2 times 4x plus 2. This squared implies that both terms inside the bracket, or whatever is inside the bracket, will be multiplied by itself. I am now going to multiply these two binomials together and then multiply it by negative 3. Conversely, I am allowed to multiply by negative 3 first and then do my binomial multiplication. I've just chosen to multiply these two together first myself. So I'm just going to drop the negative 3 down, write it down here, and come back to it in a minute. I am going to go 4x times 4x. My first multiplication, 16x squared. I'm then going to go 4x times 2 and get 8x. Now I'm going to go 2 times 4x and get 8x. And finally 2 times 2. Whoops. 2 times 2, and I get 4. So now I have negative 3 times this polynomial here. So the next step is I'm going to simplify this by summing 8x and 8x to get 16x. So now I have negative 3 times 16x squared plus 16x plus 4. I am now going to multiply each one of these by the distributor, or the multiplier here, of negative 3. And I now have negative 48x squared minus 48x minus 12. The final step is to take this giant long run single polynomial and add my like terms. I add my x squareds, I add my x's, I add my numbers, and I end up with the final solution of 8x cubed minus 90x squared minus 14x plus 12. Hopefully that helps. There is a homework assignment for you grade 10s on your Google Classroom, which is due on Friday. Give it a try, and enjoy your time off.